So, you have a movie for me?
I am a collector.
Australian legends.
Funny segments.
And go.
What's up everyone, it's Adam from FWCI. This is X-Men Days of Future Past, the pitch meeting. I am very, very excited for this one. This is my favorite X-Men movie of all of them, and I love the X-Men franchise. I think it's actually very underrated, and I think this movie in particular seems to get lost in the shuffle of the, what was going on in the McAvoy, Fassbender era. This is an absolute gem that just kind of was brought out at the wrong time and people don't give it the respect it deserves. So I'll go into a bit more detail about this after the video for those that are interested, but I have actually uploaded a reaction to this movie, kinda. I like to do reactions to other people's reactions only on movies that I absolutely love. I've done 2 in 12 months. That was Airplane with Awkward Ashley, and I just did Days of Future Past with Natalie Gold. So it's just me watching them do the reaction, pausing, talking about the movie, talking about the reactors. Bit of a mishmash thing. I don't know, it's something that I enjoy doing, but go check that out. Let's start off with this pitch meeting. There'll be no Aussie pitch meeting for this one because I love this movie so much. I couldn't even think of a thing to say about it. So I'm prepared to get deeply offended by Days of Future Past. Let's do it.
So, you have an X-Men movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. So in this one, we're gonna have some X-Men from the original trilogy and from First Class. Oh, how are we gonna do that? Please don't say time travel. With time travel. Uh-oh. Yes. Yeah, so the movie starts in the future with some of the X-Men being killed by these giant Sentinel robots. Okay. But since Kitty Pryde could send people's consciousness to the past, she basically warns their past selves not to be there. Wait, I thought Kitty Pryde's thing was that she can run through walls and stuff. Well, in the comic that this is based on, another mutant sends Kitty Pryde's consciousness back in time, so how come you're giving Kitty Pryde that ability? So that we can have Ellen Page in the movie and no other reason. Well, okay then. So then the X-Men...
Wow, yeah, that's a good point. I kind of just bought it because I know that that's something Kitty Pryde also did in the comics, but yeah, they could have easily just had like Professor X or just brought in another, telepath to do that as well. So was Ellen Page a big deal back then? I guess she was. I don't know.
Men are gonna decide to send Wolverine's consciousness way back in time, and he has to try to stop this crappy future from being set in motion. And why him? Well, we're gonna say that the time travel thing basically shreds your mind, but his can regenerate. Is that just an excuse he came up with to have Wolverine be the star? You're damn right. I respect that. Yeah, so in the 70s, he still has his bone claws. Wow. And he needs to stop Mystique from killing this guy Trask who invented the Sentinels. Trask? Yeah, remember that guy from X-Men The Last Stand? He was played by Bill Duke, that actor from Predator. Oh, yeah. Hey, maybe we could get that Tyrion Lannister guy to play him. He's really popular right now. You want to recast Bill Duke's character with Peter Dinklage? Yeah. I mean, okay, those are just 2 extremely different humans. Oh.
You know what? There are elements of First Class that I think we can just ignore, I guess. That's definitely one of them. I never even picked up that they already had a Bolivar Trask in this movie franchise. I thought that was the first introduction of that character. But, by the way, Peter Dinklage's Trask. Come on. That is the shit right there.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I don't see color, or height, or age. Oh, sir, it sounds like you should visit an eye doctor. You might be legally blind. Oh, that's some solid advice. Thanks so much, large gray shape. You're welcome. And so how far back in time did they send Wolverine? Well, Mystique kills Trask in 1973, so they send Wolverine to right before that happens. Wouldn't it make more sense to send him a little further back than that? Yeah, but that wouldn't be as exciting. So you're manufacturing a ticking clock narrative where there doesn't need to be one? That's right. Please pay me for this. Oh, I will. Anyway, so...
Fuck you, Ryan George. I love you. But fuck you for saying this about my favorite movie. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. You could have easily gone back well before she actually committed the murder. And what was the other thing you mentioned in there that was a little bit funky as well? I can't remember what it was. But I'm sure they're going to talk about why wasn't Magneto holding Wolverine, considering Wolverine is all metal skeleton, instead of letting him like thrash around in the middle of the thing. I don't know if that would just fatigue Magneto, but come on, man. Magneto, you can do this shit.
So to find Mystique, Wolverine has to find Professor X and Magneto, but in 1973, they're having all kinds of problems. Oh, they are? Yeah, Beast made the serum that lets Professor X walk again, but he loses his powers. So Professor X is just a dude now? Exactly, because if he had his powers, he'd be able to solve the movie's problems in like 2 seconds. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna tag along on most adventures even though he can't help in any way. Well, okay then. So then they need to get Magneto, but in 1973, he's in a big non-metallic prison under the Pentagon. Wow, 1973 was really not the ideal time to send Wolverine to. No, it wasn't. So anyway, Magneto's in jail for killing JFK. Wait, what? Yeah, but later we're gonna find out that he was trying to save JFK, because JFK was also a mutant. What? I want to know more about that. Oh, too bad. Oh, man. So anyway, to get Magneto out of jail, Wolverine's like, I know a guy, and they go get Quicksilver. How does Wolverine know Quicksilver? Unclear. Huh. So then as they're breaking out of the Pentagon,
There's a guy.
Shoot at them. Oh no. But Quicksilver's so fast, he's able to run around the room and knock out all the guards as the bullets are being fired. Wait, what? Yeah, it's gonna be this incredible scene where he's just listening to music and moving stuff around
scene.
and nudging the bullets out of the way. I mean, that's like a godlike power. He could literally go grab Mystique and the movie would be over. Yeah, definitely. This guy is good. Well, it's gonna be hard to keep the movie going if Quicksilver can just, end it. Actually, it's gonna be super easy.
We just send him
barely an
home.
inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, we're just gonna have Quicksilver, stop helping. What do you mean? He's gonna go home. I don't know what to tell you. But how can we possibly explain him not helping? Maybe the rest of the mission's too dangerous for him. He's just a kid. They literally had him break into the Pentagon. Listen, if you don't want the movie to be over, you're gonna have to climb on up off of my back. Okay, I'll
Hey, with that being said, I would say it's a lot less dangerous to break into the Pentagon than it is to go after... Who were they going after at that point? That was just to get Mystique, wasn't it? Yeah, Magneto hadn't gone heel yet. Yeah. I even talk about in the Natalie Gold reaction that I did that Quicksilver has that kind of plot-breaking superpower kind of thing. Like, if you have him around, it just does raise a lot of questions. So that's a tricky one. Quicksilver, The Flash, Superman, for example, those are 3 characters that it's kind of like, well, why didn't they just, stop this before it happened kind of thing.
I'll climb. So anyway, we're also gonna have Mystique keep trying to murder Trask by taking on the appearance of people around him. Right, that makes sense. But he has this little device that detects when mutants are around, so he keeps catching her. Wait, we're saying that since the 70s, the government's had the ability to detect mutants? That's right. I feel like that's gonna mess up a bunch of the storylines we created. That's the entire point of this movie. Oh, it is? Yeah, we're just gonna introduce the concept of timeline so everything makes sense and nothing makes sense and nothing matters and I don't even care. Oh, finding excuses for our sloppy work is tight. So anyway...
He's right. Come on, yeah, that's a very, very, very good point. That whole bit he just said there.
Anyway, then President Nixon's gonna unveil these mutant-killing sentinels to the public, and there's gonna be a bunch of security. So they have those mutant...
Some advanced sentinels, by the way.
Metal detectors. Oh. And Magneto's gonna secretly put metal inside the sentinels so he controls them. Oh, that's smart, because if he makes them malfunction in public, the program's never gonna move forward. Yeah, and he's also gonna, drop a stadium around the White House. That ruins everything. And at the same time, but in the future, the X-Men are being attacked by more robots. Uh-oh. So we have this awesome situation where the hero's mind is off trying to complete a task while his body's about to be destroyed by sentinels. Right, I've seen The Matrix. Okay, good. So yeah, that scene from The Matrix, but with X-Men. Great. Yeah, so all the mutants in the future are...
I'm not that big on The Matrix. I've seen the 3, but by the time I got to the 3rd one, I was like just watching because I was like, I just gotta get through this so I can say I've done it. Didn't really do a great deal for me though.
Fighting sentinels so Kitty Pryde could keep doing her thing with Wolverine. Wow. And then back in the 70s, Wolverine's gonna get stuck at the bottom of a river so he can't help anymore. Oh, so I guess Kitty Pryde can stop sending his consciousness into the past. What do you mean? Well, if he's done all he's gonna do, the future is just gonna play out as it's gonna play out, right? He's not affecting the past anymore. Oh, well, we're only gonna have the future get fixed when Mystique decides not to kill Trask. But Kitty and Wolverine no longer have anything to do with that. Yeah, well, whatever. Well, whatever then. So yeah, because Mystique showed
I get the way they told it in the movie. Like, it wasn't until Mystique was the point in time that something had to change. It wasn't about whether Wolverine went back or not. Yeah, that one I don't agree with. I'm calling you out on that one, George.
Compassion, everything works out. What about that whole thing where Magneto lifted a stadium and dropped it around the White House? Well, humans don't care about that because Mystique showed compassion. Okay, but there's still all the... She showed compassion. All right, I guess that solves everything then. So then Wolverine...
You're ruining my favorite movie here, man, but... It's true, and I love it, so it's fine.
He's gonna wake up in this future where everything is perfect and Jean never died and nobody ever died and everything's amazing. Wait, so Wolverine's consciousness was just hijacked by a different version of himself from another timeline? That's right. A version of himself that has no memory of the past 50 years as they happened? Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty nice moment. That's actually a horrifying moment. A version of Wolverine was basically just mentally murdered by another version of himself. Yeah, such a sweet moment. If you say so. You know, we're gonna see that in the past, Wolverine was picked up out of the river by William Stryker. Oh, that's a clever nod. It's like that's how his claws are gonna end up covered in adamantium. Yeah, and then Stryker's eyes are gonna flash yellow, so we're gonna be like, oh, that's Mystique. What? Pretty cool twist, right? But Wolverine has to end up with Stryker eventually, right? Because he still has the bone claws. Right, but this is Mystique. But why do that? I don't know. Fair enough. And so, what do you think? Well, it sounds like a hot mess, but I think if we get the right director on board, it's gonna work out. Did you have somebody in mind? Yeah, I was thinking we could bring Bryan Singer back into the franchise. Oh, he's definitely somebody you want to be associated with.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Hey guys.
I was not aware of this. Wow. Yeah, he's right. I love the movie, regardless, it's still one of my favorite X-Men movies, but that scene at the very end with Mystique, when the eyes glow yellow, doesn't really... It didn't need to happen, it didn't lead to anything, it just made questions. I would be totally fine if Disney Plus just edited that out. To be completely honest, it's like the one thing I was like, what? Does that mean the Wolverine in the future has bone claws and he didn't go through Alkali Lake and he's not traumatized? And like, he's gonna walk in and be like, hey, Professor, what's going on? Help me with the last 50 years. Oh, Logan, welcome back. Well, you've had a lovely life. Everything's been great, you got married, everything in your life has been like, you know, peaches and cream. And Logan's like, cool, I only remember pain and trauma. Like, it is a very like Black Mirror-ish, like cruel twist of fate, but I mean, this is Wolverine we're talking about. His entire life has been psychological trauma, just non-stop the entire time. So I guess that's kind of what is to be expected, but I love Days of Future Past. The scene with Quicksilver, I think, is one of the greatest in superhero movie history, to be honest. Like, take anything from the MCU you want and put it up against that scene. I think the Quicksilver scene holds up. I feel like when they wrote the line about Magneto trying to save JFK, when he's like, oh, I want to know more about that, I would have loved just a Magneto standalone movie where you could even infuse this Days of Future Past into it. Just have more Magneto and more of that kind of thing, and then, you know, somehow lead it into Wolverine having to come back. That would have been friggin' awesome. So this movie's definitely not without its flaws, but I love the way they blended the timelines. Honestly, I feel like that's almost... Spider-Man No Way Home, you know, well before. I've always wanted superhero franchises to cross over so much more than they ever seem to do. Like, even going back to the Batman ones in the 90s and, you know, everything that's sort of come after that. It took so long for DC to finally figure out that that's what they should do, is try and, like, you know, team their characters up. Marvel obviously did it right. They came in with Iron Man, it went good, and the plan was immediately, let's get the Avengers together, like let's get Hulk, let's get Cap, let's get Thor, and then, you know, see where we're at that point. So, you know, it's been a wild ride for superhero fans in terms of movies, and I really think X-Men Days of Future Past is underrated, underappreciated, and I recommend all you guys go and check out my reaction to Natalie Gold watching X-Men Days of Future Past for the first time. She's a fantastic reactor. She's incredibly smart. Watching her watch a movie, I'm kind of envious at times, because I'm like, yeah, I didn't know about this until after the movie, when I came home and watched Eric Voss's breakdown. I was like, oh, that's what that was. Like, sometimes I'm a bit like that. That's why I don't watch the Marvel movies on the channel or anything like that, because I would look like an absolute dumbass. Even more dumb than I looked watching Squid Game. Let's find out how much that actually is worth. I was never good at math, ever. Just terrible at it. It was like my worst subject. That's like $52,000. But thanks for checking this one out, everyone. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.